Well, things certainly went the other way really quick, didn't it? It's time for some Pucknologists. So you're on Tealtown, USA.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig.
But of course, if you want to be part of the show, you can interact with us in the YouTube chat. If you want to help support the show, you can like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. You can also communicate with us via the super chat. Super chats help us keep the lights on, pays for web hosting and audio hosting and all the other things that we do. But other than that, let's get down to it. It's AJ. Me and AJ are back finally. And then
What
it's going to
up?
be fuck next week, so I'm gone again.
Nice. I love that nobody knows what the schedule is. This is so great.
It's it is it has been a week. How have you been?
Fighting a cold, but eventually I'll get over it. And I see Sharks Last in the chat asking me about going to 80s night on Tuesday. No, don't have plans for that because actually I'm going to a concert on Wednesday and Thursday.
Nice.
So I'll actually be missing the whole jumbo thing on Thursday as well. But we procured our concert tickets long before the schedule came out. So what can I tell you? But not the greatest week for the Sharks.
No, it was a 1-2 week for the Sharks. They get off to a decent start. Although, you know what? I feel like they won this game, right? And obviously we're riding high because they've gotten a bunch of points leading up to this point. This is the 2-1 overtime win against the Wild, but I feel like the cracks started to show this game.
I could see that, but I mean, they were just on that run of 8-2-1,
Right?
And dude, I got to tell you, I was starting to feel vindicated for all the optimism I brought to the season preview. I was like, there they are; those are the guys I expected to see, and they come out with that win in mini, and I was just like, all right. And then I will say, looking at Calgary coming into that game and seeing where they were on the standings, I was like, oh boy, if this doesn't scream trap game.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the Sharks for a stretch there were playing up to the level of their competition. Okay, let's see how they play to, a team that is clearly having a bad season. And it was just, wow. I would potentially the worst game they played all year. And that's saying something because it is their second shutout, but I still think they played better against Pittsburgh than in Calgary.
Yeah. Yeah, going back to the Wild game, and the reason why I say the crack started to show in this game, I felt was like just when you look at the shots on goal by period, 5 shots in the first period, 5 shots in the second period, 7 shots in the third period. And again, they did come back and they win in overtime. Will Smith scores the power play goal. And then Colin Graff gets the overtime winner, Celebrini assisting on that. And Askarov, just unreal game from him.
And I'm gonna be the first to admit it. I will, parade myself. Luckily, I didn't make a bet or anything about wearing a sandwich board. But dude, I was at the game with Eric. I want to say on October 28th, maybe.
Okay.
And I want to say it was that against the Kings? If I do some quick math,
Ooh,
yeah,
yes,
it was.
Yeah.
And
not a good game for ASCII.
No. And we're watching the game, and I think what was that? It was like 41-14 on the shots in that one.
Yeah.
And ASCII gave up 3 goals on 14 shots, and so at that moment, I was like, I don't see it. I don't understand the hype. I don't get it. And then the calendar flipped to November, and I went, oh shit. And all right. Now I'm saying, so okay, I'm an idiot now. Okay, I got it. Dude just needed a little time to get cooking. But I mean, ASCII over this time, I was like, fuck, Nedeljevic, take a little more time.
Take all the time you need, dude.
Yeah,
take all the time you need.
Yeah, don't rush back. It's fine.
Yeah. So Askarov's good this game. the Sharks win, but this would be the end of the winning streak because, as you mentioned, the trap game against the Flames. The thing that's frustrating about this game is I just feel like, look at, they're human, right? So obviously you see a team that's having a hard time on the schedule, and you, I think just human says you take your foot off the gas a little. I feel like when you're the San Jose Sharks and you've had the seasons that you've had recently, like, I don't know, man. It really frustrated me. Like, I know it's human nature to look at a schedule and go, okay, this, after everyone we've beaten, they beat the Devils and the Avalanche, and then that's Calgary Flames, whatever.
Well, dude, beating the President Trophy winners, and the
Yeah.
next day beating the Cup winners,
Yeah.
which had been done like 4 times in NHL history or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Crazy.
you're just kind of like, oh my god, how do you not just like put the hammer down? And what's funny is I was talking to a buddy of mine last weekend about how the week was going to happen with Minnesota. I'm like, well, they went to overtime the last time, and there was that incredibly exciting Celebrini goal. So who knows?
Mhm.
But I'm like, Calgary, they're doing not great this year, which means to me that one of two things are going to happen. The Sharks will get shut out, or they'll win like 8-3. And it was one or the other, but it was rather predictable.
Yeah. Obviously the Sharks, they lose 2-0 in this game. Askarov again, 34 saves on 35 shots. Just continuing his unreal play. But I mean, other than Askarov, I don't like, even I thought Macklin had some decent shifts, but other than that, it was a complete no-show by the Sharks.
Yeah, I was again just like super disappointed. Going, where is everybody tonight? I didn't understand the Calgary game whatsoever.
No.
It was just like and wasn't what is it? Was it the Los Gatos native or the Gilroy native in net for Calgary?
It was Dustin Wolf.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Who's the other one? It's not Cooley, is it?
It is. Yeah, it's Devin Cooley.
Yeah. Okay. See, I think had had Calgary started Devin Cooley, the result largely probably would have been the same.
Probably because they didn't like, they were a no show. Like, even like I said, I thought Celebrini had some good shifts, but like I wouldn't even. I know some people like, well, other than Askarov and Celebrini, I'm like, yeah, Celebrini for half a game.
Yeah, and then you can't even blame the schedule because it's like
No.
they had 2 days off.
Yep.
So they had plenty of time to go to Minnesota, get acclimated. And it's not like Minnesota to Calgary is a huge stretch, right?
Mhm.
And you still had your normal day off. And then, you get another normal day off, and you go to Seattle from Calgary. Again, not a big flight. And you go out and perform arguably just as bad.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand this week. So, and to your point of like, what is this averaging 5 shots a goal or 5 shots a
Right.
goal per period bullshit? And I remember tweeting it out like after the second period going into the break. I'm tweeting it out. And I'm like, at this point, Askarov has to be going, hey, how about more than 5 on net, eh, boys?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing here?
I mean, the first period they had one shot on goal. One shot on goal in
with
the first
Kraken.
period. With the Flames, one shot on goal in the first period, 6 in the second, 10 in the third.
No. That was that was the Flames game.
That
I'm
was the
sorry.
Flames, yes.
Yeah. Oh, the fact that they did that against the Wild with just 17 shots, but one shot. When that happened, it was like, oh, here we fucking go, man.
Yeah.
What is
I'm
this
gonna hit the
from
super
the
chat.
Greece?
Yeah, AJ, I'm coming to San Jose for the first time this week from Halifax, Nova Scotia, to see my
Wow.
first Sharks games at the Tank. To show my appreciation, I'd like to buy you a beer if you're going to be at any of the games this week.
Holy crap! That is so like cool of you.
Yes.
So I'm not going to any of the games this week.
Yeah.
God,
But we do
what was
appreciate
it?
the super chat.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? Though I swear to God, there was something on Tuesday, and I know I'm not available on Thursday because that's a concert. And checking my schedule, you know what? Next Saturday, I might be able. If you're going to the game against the Senators next Saturday, might be able to meet you in Little Italy and partake of one of the pretty cool tap areas, either the Poorhouse or Bebo's. Hashtag no free ads. But
No free ads.
yeah. Hit me up on the Tweety machine. We might be able to make something like that happen. That would be awesome. Thank you so much, man. That's very cool.
Yeah, thanks for this, Rat. I love Nova Scotia. I went out there a few summers ago. It was awesome. Loved it.
Kings, Senators, and Bruins. Oh my gosh. Well, obviously can't do the Bruins because I'll be here. But yeah, that Senators. Yeah, Senators could happen, buddy.
All right, sounds good,
Yeah.
man. But again, great. I hope you have a good time.
Absolutely.
I hope the weather is good and you don't have any flight issues or anything like that. And I hope you have a hell of a time down there, man.
Yeah. Now that the government seems to have gotten their shit together.
Yeah. Now that oh my God, no doubt.
That's for another podcast, though.
That is not this podcast. Also in this Flames game, to make matters worse, they lose Jeff Skinner to a pretty gnarly looking injury.
Dude, yeah. When I saw that, I went, "Oh my gosh!" But I'm again this year trying to be a little more optimistic.
Mhm.
And as soon as I saw that happen, I was super bummed because one of the things that I was hopeful for this season was a third line of Misa, Graf, and Skinner. So that kind of bummed me out. But when was the last time we saw Misa, right? So I'm like, well, maybe this opens the door for Misa to try to, kick his way in. Is he still below
He's
the
in a
9
boot.
game? Huh?
Yeah, he's in a boot too. I think they're both in a boot now.
Yeah. See, and that's that again. But Misa still hasn't reached the 9 game threshold, right?
Correct. No.
So, God, it makes me wonder how long it's going to take him to get out of that boot. All right, well, stop, Chuck. Come on down.
It's his. He
It's
is the
him or
beneficiary.
Yeah, him or Cardwell. One of them got to step up.
Yeah, he's currently on the roster now. He played against he played in the game against Kraken in the fourth line. He had 9 minutes. He was fine. Like I don't.
All right. The Grease is also going to a CUDA game. Now that I might be
Sick.
talked into going to. I'll have to check the schedule.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I hope you enjoy, man. I hope everything hope flights are good and everything else, man. Because
Yeah, and if that works out, I'll show you the place to go before a CUDA game. Let you know.
there you have it. All right.
I mean, there's not strippers or anything.
Yeah,
But really
Taco
good beer.
Cruiser saying that to this point, Misa has played 7 games.
All
before he went
right.
on the IR.
Boy, I wonder how close he is to coming back. But
Good question. Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to get some of these answers now that they are returning home finally. This Kraken game being the last game of this it's not a super long road trip, but a long enough road trip.
3 games, that's nothing. And
Yeah.
and it's not like I mean, dude, Calgary and Seattle, the furthest they went east was Minnesota.
Yeah,
Like, okay, but it's not like they had to play in Boston or Florida or, Toronto or Ottawa or anything like that. So, yeah, I think they should be fine.
and so I'm hoping they'll once they get home and they'll give us some answers. I mean, the Teal curtain is very large and very thick, as we know.
Yeah. But I'm excited this week, the first time the Utah Mammoth are playing in San Jose.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Right? I think it'd be fun just to like Yeti.
So this Kraken game that happened yesterday, Kraken win 4-1 over the Sharks. The Sharks outshoot the Kraken, but they didn't take advantage of their power plays. They only converted 1 out of 6. Wenberg was the lone goal for the Sharks on the power play, his 5th of the season. Celebrini and Eklund having the assist on it. Nedeljkovic comes back in net. I think the numbers aren't kind to him because he didn't face a ton of shots, but he faced a lot of hard shots. So I think you can look and he only had an 864 last night for save percentage. But I think when you look at the quality of shots he was facing most of the night, I think he had a really good night. It's not, the numbers aren't going to pop and be as sexy as Askarov, but I think goaltending's the least of the Sharks' problems this week.
Well, that's the thing that I'm going to be really interested to see where you have between now and next Sunday, you got 4 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Warsofsky, Askey's getting 3 of those. I'm just saying. It's like you kept ping-ponging back and forth, and I don't know what the personal matters were that kept Ned out. None of my business. But during his stretch when Askey was given that opportunity, he seized it. I want to see more of Askey because it seems like the more opportunity he gets in there, the more he cooks.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So let's go. Ruben.
Taco Cruiser. I'll get to Ruben in a second. Taco Cruiser saying, "Why is Michael Misa being treated with baby gloves while Michael Smith was thrown into the Will Smith was thrown into the fire?"
I disagree with that.
I
Will Smith,
disagree with that too.
Yeah, Will Smith to me in the first half of the season was treated with baby gloves.
Yeah, I concur. I concur. And Ruben with the $4.99 super chat. Again, thank you for the super chat. These help keep the lights on and keeps us from cramming ads into these shows because they're long enough as is. We couldn't add another half hour of ads. We'd never get out of here.
Is Ruben just here to poke the bear?
He is poking the bear. And yeah, he is the best goalie. We're making the playoffs. Diet Coke sucks. Play the right way. And all true.
All right, I guess.
All true. No lies detected.
Oh my!
There was some controversy in this game, though. Do you want to talk about this awful nonsense? We talked about it a little last night, but I'm gonna let you chime in. This is the disallowed goal.
Hold on, that was disallowed?
This was disallowed for distinct kicking motion.
Oh my God! You've got to be kidding me. Okay. To be totally transparent,
Yeah.
I was at a Friendsgiving party last night, and we had this on the screen.
Yeah.
But we were doing a lot of visiting, and it culminated. It was pretty cool. The couple that put the party together actually ended the night with a white elephant gift.
Okay.
Gift exchange thing, but it ended with him proposing to her. So it was a fun night. The Sharks game took a little bit of the back seat, but on the way home, I was listening to some of the chatter about the game, and I was like, okay, I want to see this disallowed thing, but then life took over, so I didn't get a chance to see it. That's the first time I'm seeing it. How that got disallowed? You've got to be fucking kidding me! Like, oh my God! But in the overarching view, does it matter? 4-1 or 4-2, it's still a loss.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way that's a kick.
I think the problem is at the time the game was still in hand. It wasn't like that goal was scored when they were down 4-1, right? I think that would have put them ahead 2-1 in the game if I remember correctly.
I mean, if they waived it and I'm looking at Taco in here as well, because that's what I thought in my mind. If they'd waived it for goalie interference, I would have been like, oh, all right, that's tough, but at least I could understand it. To say that is a distinct kicking motion is a very Jurassic pile of bullshit.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like I don't even think it's goalie interference. At first, we thought that they were going to call it because they immediately waved it off, and I thought initially the wave off was going to be because the net came off its moorings, but the puck's clearly across the line before the net comes off its moorings.
Well, and what was that goal a week or so ago that they called the puck, even though the net came off the moorings, they called it a goal because the puck clearly would have entered the net?
Yes, but that only happens when the defending team knocks the puck off, not when the attacking player does it.
Yeah, true that.
Right. So if Will Smith knocks the net off before the puck goes across the line, the net's off its moorings. He's the attacking player.
Either way, that's a bit of that's some home cooking on that call. I don't get that one.
I don't know.
And we don't bitch about the officiating often, but holy crap, that's a thinker, as they say.
Yeah, and like Taco Cruz was saying, like I could see an argument for goalie interference, even though I think that I don't think it is. So that's what John asking. Was that called an assigned goal or something like that? I believe it's what was it called exactly? I can't remember the exact terminology.
It was going to happen whether it didn't or not.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it was called. It was it's such a rare when they called it. I'm like, where was Darren to say this is the fifth time in Sharks history that it seemed like such an oddity because after 30 years of watching hockey, I can't ever remember seeing that until that game.
No, I mean
But
anything else from these games that you want to hit up? Because I think otherwise, like there wasn't a whole lot to these games other than the awarded. Thank you. It was an awarded goal.
there you go.
Boom.
Yeah. Over the course of the week, I don't know. I tweeted it out after the Calgary game that it was like, I expect a big response in Seattle. I certainly didn't get one. So I'm
I thought
quite
they started the game well enough,
Did
but it
they?
didn't. Yeah, in my opinion, the first period, like they did come up to some jump, and I thought when Matt Murray leaves the game after the first period and Grubauer starts in the second, I thought the Sharks
What
put up a
predicated that?
ton of shots. He pulled something. He's Matt Murray. That's what he does.
Okay, because I got to tell you, when I saw that they lost, when it was like 4-1 or whatever, I was like, "Fucking Matt Leddy."
Yeah,
Well, this has to be Letty. But
it
yeah,
is Letty's fault.
I look at this week and I just kind of the thing that I think is most, I guess, to take away from the week, the thing that I guess is most concerning is the fact that you played all week. You played 3 games and you only scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
That to me, I think is the most concerning. Like, let's get on that, boys.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is obviously like if you look at where the offenses come from, it's been incredibly top heavy. You're not getting a whole lot of depth scoring. It's been a lot of Celebrini, Smith, Toffoli. It's been
Oh,
that long.
what the shit is happening right here?
What's what?
What the fuck is this? Look at this. You lazy bitch. Look at this. The hell is this? Oh my god. Someone thinks she's Kayla. I don't know what the hell's going on over here. Anyway, yeah. Let's see what they do at these, because they got a stretch 4 straight at home. That you are going to have 3 out of 4. You're going to play 3 games in 4 nights. But also the next, you're going to play 5 of your next 6 at home, and you get the Thanksgiving break, which always makes me a little concerned about the game after Thanksgiving. When all the boys are feeling fat and happy and everything like that, and who knows? We'll see. And for you music fans, vinyl lovers, remember, while the Vancouver game is happening on Black Friday, it is also Record Store Day here in the United States. So for those of you who observe, as do I, and I'm seeing Paul Medina in the chat, Kling and Letty need to go. I think we've been saying that since the start of the season, and I would agree, especially when you look at how the power play performed this week, because that's what I heard the excuse was from Warsofsky as to why Klingberg is here. Well, he's here to be Mr. Power Play QB. And I'm thinking, well, if he's trying to be some sort of a mentor, whether it's to Dickinson or whatever, can't he do that during practice and just be benched? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It hasn't been good. I mean, and some of like the decisions like for some of these defensive deployments, and I understand they have all the defensemen on the roster.
when is that going to change too?
Well, they're gonna have to make a decision soon because Iorio's down in the Barracuda on a conditioning stint. So when he has to come back, like they're gonna have to make a decision there as far as what they're doing with him. Plus, Dickinson already can't get in the lineup. It seems like Mukhamadullin, like he got finally back in the lineup again, and I expect him to get jettisoned back to the press box just as quick.
Yeah, and that pisses me off. Like, how many we're like, 17, 18 games into this? I think we've seen one game when Dickinson and Mook and Medulin were both playing. Like, what the crap is that? That pisses me off. So, and I'm very much kind of like, okay, Letty and Klingberg, feign injury.
Is it too late to ask Letty just to get hurt again? And I feel terrible saying that, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, like, and Lily didn't play last night, and I don't think he was hurt. I think he was just scratched.
I don't know, dude. Somebody needs to spike his protein bars with COVID or something.
Which
I've had it.
And Taco asking like the question, is Cagnoni not good enough to play in the NHL? I think he could play in the NHL. I think he could quarterback your second power play unit. The problem is there's no room for him.
Yeah, I'd take Cags over Klingberg at this point. And to be fair, I appreciate what Greer was trying to do with bringing in all these defensive veterans to try because the blue line last year was total ass.
Yeah, it was bad.
But is it really that much better with these vets? Like, can we let go of one or two of them, please? At the very least, Letty? Like, I get that, like, Orlov's on a 2-year deal. We're kind of stuck with that guy.
Like, Orlov's been fine. I have no beef with. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
considering what else has happened on this blue line, Orlov is the least of my worries. Like, I understand what Orlov is at this point.
Dude, and Medina just put in my pairs. Liljegren and Ferraro, Orlov and Mook, Dickinson and Desharnais.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Dude, I am yeah, Hunting Sanity saying I'm an Tanya Harding laddie. Damn straight, dude. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm just saying if I happen to bump into the guy at a bar, who knows?
Poor Nick Letty. Like, I feel bad. This is a human being. But like, I don't know. I agree though. Like it's rough, and they have too many guys on the lineup, and with keeping Dickinson here, and I'm fine with them keeping Dickinson here. But the downfall to that obviously is Dickinson. Like, there's no room for Cagnoni unless like we get a rash of injuries.
Yeah, it pisses me off that Cagnoni isn't the seventh defenseman on this team.
Yeah.
When we're dressing, when we have like what? When we go on the road and we've got like 9 defensemen?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is. Let's get through the other team in the Bay Area, and then we can have a little other fun here.
Now, straight out the gate, I'm just going to say this is on you because, again, I had a lot of shit going on this week, not to mention being under the weather. The only thing I can say with 100% certainty about the CUDA this week is Chernyshov had a week. That's all I can say.
Chernyshov had a week is absolutely correct. Oh, did he ever? The San Jose Barracuda were 2 wins and a shootout loss this week. They started the week with a 7-1 thrashing of the Abbotsford Canucks. I don't know why I have OT there. That is really dumb of me.
Yeah, it was like, how'd that work? Well, you said 7-1. Is it 7-0?
7-0. It was 7-0.
It
was bad. So like I said, Auro has been down there on a conditioning stint. He has a few assists so far. This game here, right? The Vancouver Canucks / Abbotsford Canucks are in a pretty rough way. The injuries to the Vancouver Canucks are pretty significant. Like, I put a little screenshot of like their thing, and there's like 8 guys on it.
Well, and I had no idea that Demko was down.
Yeah, so. Demko was day to day. I don't know how long he is out for. This was I grabbed this earlier in the week, so some of this may have changed. But like, when you're looking at like some of these names that are missing, right? Like Leckermacki, Hedel,
dude,
Hoglander. Like, it's they're in a hard way. So they've got a lot of guys called up, which has left them pretty depleted. And I said that these were games that the Barracuda should win handedly. Now this one they did absolutely. Goals coming. Giles had 2 goals. The Stopchuk got a goal for his 3rd of the season. Lucas Carlson had himself a week too. He had his 2nd of the season. Chernyshov had a hat trick. And just, Musty had a couple of assists this game. Beasted had a couple of assists this game. Cagnoni a couple of assists. Regenda a couple of assists. Like, just an absolute...
It sounds like it was an Oprah game.
It was fun.
You gotta go.
Everyone gets a goal. This was a fun one from Musty and Cagnoni just screwing around.
Oh my god, dude, that could have been on Pornhub. That was so filthy. Good god, that was a dirty little stretch there.
Yeah, Woo. Like, just they I mean, and you kind of just seen like there was a lot of goals like that. I mean, I could show them all, and then probably HLTV gets mad at us, but like,
Fuck
but
'em.
like just like those were the kind of goals that were getting scored. Like the Barracuda just absolutely had their way with them in this game. They outshot them 36-27. They killed they only took 2 penalties, which because again, when you have the puck, you don't really take penalties that often, and although you are the Barracuda, so sometimes you do. And they, and of the power play opportunities they had, they got 1 of 2. So a really good night for the Barracuda. Skarek gets his first shot of the season, 27 saves. Not He didn't get a ton of hard work, but he came up big when he had to. The next game was a little more disappointing. The Barracuda get up on the same Abbotsford Canucks, same depleted, and at this point, their that was their 11th straight loss, the 7th one. So they're due, right? They're probably getting a little pissed off. They're a little due for a win. And the Canucks, to their credit, they kind of roar back a little bit in this one. Lucas Carlson, Musty, and White all score. This Musty goal is on the power play is pretty sick too, and this is
Yeah,
from
whip it
the
out.
second game here.
Oh,
But the
man, look at that
Barracuda,
effort. Solid effort to keep that in. Oh,
just silliness, right? Like,
dude. See, how can you not be jacked for the future of this team? My
right?
only concern is it's all coming from forwards.
Yeah.
We need some solid defense, and I think we just have to, wait just a little bit longer.
Yeah, so the Barracuda get up to an early lead, and then they let the Canucks back into it. It goes to a shootout. Wallstrom scores in the shootout, but it wasn't enough. The Barracuda lose this one in the shootout. They still get a point, which is good, but after the previous game, knowing what we know about the Abbotsford Canucks, it was a pretty disappointing outcome. Last night they played against the Ontario Reign. They got another win here, 4-3. Lucas Carlson again, goals in all 3 games. Philip Beestead gets his second of the season. Luca Cagnoni scores. I'll show you this too, because this is pretty crazy. Where is it? Here it is. So this here, I'll play it again.
What the shit?
So what happens was this was initially ruled a save. And obviously, it's hard to tell because of the angle you're watching at it, right? Because you have the HLTV, you don't have all the angles the NHL feed does. They reviewed this for probably 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Turns out it's a goal.
And that's Cagnoni's.
And it's Cagnoni's goal. It ties it up. And then Colin White gets a loose puck in front of the net, puts it home. This was frustrating because, again, Barracuda get out to a lead. They get into penalty trouble. They take 5 penalties, but like 3 straight power play goals for the Ontario Reign to bring them ahead. That Luca Cagnoni goal ties it up, and then so it's funny because you talk about like the Musty goal, obviously, right? Or not the Musty, sorry, the Will Smith non-goal, and in the same night you get that goal. So it's kind of funny how the hockey gods treat you sometimes. But yes.
The only thing that I get nervous about is, like you want to sit there and go, unjinx. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Musty and Chernyshov to be tweeners. Like I'm waiting for them in a couple years to fill in that space.
I think Chernyshov could be a one and done guy for the Barracuda.
Really?
Like 1 year and he's on the team next year.
See, and that's what I'm hoping for. It's like if he can, get that same Saginaw chemistry with Misa. Oh my God! Like you put those, and then obviously Smith and Celebrini. I mean, they're referring to both of those guys as like one guy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, they are one person,
right? So if we get that same thing with Chernyshov and Misa, holy crap! And then like they might have to go and get Zetterlund back just so Eklund feels like that same vibe, right? but if
I think both. I wonder if both teams would like a do-over on that trade. Honestly,
sure. Oh, absolutely. I think Zetterlund would like a do-over on there. But what if Eklund finds some sort of mojo with Graf? Like, man, that could be a lot of fun.
Well, I think eventually, I mean, Misa's eventually your number 2 center, right? So I could absolutely see a line of like
What,
down the road, Misa, Eklund, Chernyshov.
but we were told at one point that Smith was going to be the number 2 center. You know what I mean?
Never happening. I don't see it.
Not with the way he
I don't want to
plays
say.
with
I don't want to
his-
say. I never say never, but I already think like
Dude, too much chemistry with this sleepover buddy, man.
it's not even. It's not even just that. I just think that Misa's already a better center than Will Smith is today.
Oh, real? Oh, okay, damn. All right, I can see that though. But I want, as they say, I want a larger sample size.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
But yeah, I could see that. I would.
Yeah,
like
like
that.
I just I don't know the way I see Chernyshov and the way he plays. Like I think he should absolutely be a one and done. He gets 1 year on the Barracuda and then that's it, and he never goes back.
All right.
Because I think like, and because I get this question a lot, and it's like, well, what about Musty? And I think Musty's been great too. But I think between the two of them, I feel like Chernyshov's the one stirring the drink. Between
Yeah, Musty, I think he'll get there. I think let him cook.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, and that's not even a knock against Musty. Like I think Musty's been fantastic. I just think Chernyshev has been the better of the two, and probably the driver of the two, to be completely honest.
I just there is so much up top as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this to me is that I don't want to say tweener season, but I would say a little bit of a transitional season. That okay, we've gone from implosion.
Yeah.
And now let's build this shit up. No more demolition. We're in the construction phase, and Musty will be, a nice little piece that we hang in the dining room once it's completed. But we're gonna get there. So this, and I know that this week, well, at least after the Minnesota game, a few people brought up the P word, and Warsawski, Warsawski's sitting there going, like he almost went for playoffs. What did you say, playoff? We're just trying to get to the next game.
I know, and it was funny because I didn't. Puck, I thought I was mad at him yesterday on the show, and I wasn't. And I wasn't mad at him yesterday because this topic kind of came up, and I feel like, and I was like, look at the standings. Everybody's in the playoff race. Like there's a couple of teams that aren't. Everyone else is like within like 6 points of the playoffs right now.
And not to mention the fact that the playoffs, I know that there are, because we're right around the corner from Thanksgiving, and I know that there have been a couple times where there were a team or two, and I think maybe last year the Sharks were one of them, where it was like by Thanksgiving you were kind of like, and those are two teams that, just like put the E next to their name now. They're eliminated. They're not making it. I got to say, coming into this where we are right now, I did not have Calgary dead last on my bingo card. But the funny thing is, there was a few people that had Pittsburgh at the very bottom. In like bottom,
supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, bottom 5. Last time I looked, they were in the top 5.
They are unreal.
Yeah, for a day or two, they were number 1. It was like, who wrote this fucking novel? Like that, this is an amazing book of fiction that you have created, right? Like, what the hell is going on there?
I just want to see if Malkin can keep it up, because when you look at Pittsburgh, like Malkin always gets off to this hot start every season, and I feel like the start of every season, oh, Malkin's found the fountain of youth, and then by the end of the season, we're like, oh no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm just very much like thrown by a couple of the teams that are at the bottom of it, and then I mean, for a hot minute, and I think I said this during in the chat in one of the After Darks last week. Was, wait a minute, is it 2009? Because Anaheim, LA, and San Jose are the top 3 Pacific teams? Like, and that was a thing last week.
That was fun.
Yeah. And hey, it's fun to reminisce once in a while, but reality will settle in. Let's see where we are come, New Year's Day.
I'm surprised how many teams are within striking distance. This, like, usually by American Thanksgiving, there's like some separation.
Yeah. Not this year. No, the whole league got together and said, you know what, we're gonna fuck with Ian this year.
yeah.
Dude, it's so weird. But let's see where we are for Christmas.
Yeah, just
'Cause
some of the comments in the chat here while we were talking about things. Graf is probably better than Musty. I
I
I
think
really
at
like Colin Graf, but I think I don't think Musty's defensive game is as bad as people make it out to be. But I if you're looking at somebody who I would trust more in a defense, like a situation where you need defense, I'd definitely trust Graf more. I think Graf's gonna settle into like that third line, you know. I think he's gonna settle into that kind of third line role where you kind of put him out there.
he's going to
Um,
be like I'm going to throw it back, which is it's a good time because 35th year with the heritage. I'm going to throw this shit back to like the the early 2000s. I'm going to liken Colin Graf to like the version of the current day Nicholas Sundstrom.
mm,
Like not particularly flashy, but a guy who's pretty reliable. He's going to get you a few assists and goals here, but he's also going to be defensively responsible. That's I'm gonna because I remember I've got some great memories of the Scott Thornton, Mike Ricci, Nicholas Sundstrom era as that third line, and
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm hoping for with a Misa, Graf, Skinner line.
Yeah, like I
So
think like I really like Colin Graf. I think you definitely need guys like Colin Graf to win.
mhm.
But you also need goals. And
Yeah.
Graf can chip in goals, but I don't think goals are going to be like he's never going to be a top scorer on this team.
Now, all that being said, would I trade a number one pick, Graf and Musty, to get Nolan Schaefer? Or not Nolan Schaefer. What's
Not
the kid's
Nolan
name?
Schaefer. Matt
The
Schaefer.
Yeah, yeah. Would I trade to get Schaefer out of New York? Absolutely. Because we need blue line help. Torrey Mitchell. Torrey Mitchell to me was oh god. Was it Noah Gregor? Wasn't that the guy that we referred to as Torrey Mitchell 2.0? Where it was like all feet, no hands.
All feet, no hands.
There was a couple guys that were like that. I remember, but I thought Torrey Mitchell invented the phrase "all feet, no hands." he ate lunch for like a couple weeks on one-handed goal where he was in super tight, scored with one hand while fending off a defender with his other hand, and he ate lunch on that for about 2 weeks, and then after that, he couldn't score a fucking goal after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So moving on.
You want to go stock up, stock down?
Do you want to go stock up, stock down, or do you want to yell at KMBR?
No, I think stock up, stock down kind of continues what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we'll start with the Sharks, obviously, and I'll finish with the Barracuda.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I don't think it's any big based on the week the Sharks had. I think most people could guess what my choices are. And I usually go with the hat trick of choices this week, the most obvious being ASCII. And again, I'm an idiot for ever doubting the guy the week that this guy had. But Askarov, and then as we just spoke about, Colin Graf. Look at this Colin Graf. Dude is doing like is he killing it? No. Is he living up to expectations? Absolutely.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
That's all I'm looking for, man. And then I'm going to say Desharnais. And the other thing I think is that you can say is up and has been up for probably the entire month. The PK over the last 7 games over the last 2 weeks, at 23 for 24. You can't ask for more than that. So that's my stock up for the week.
Yeah, I mean Askarov, obviously, it's number one with a bullet. There's no other way. I mean, how could he not be on this list, man? But you know what? I do want to shout out Dmitry Orlov, because I do think that he has been kind of overlooked when you look at, because obviously I think you look at what the forwards have done, and that's gotten a lot of press. And I think Dmitry Orlov has been really steady-ish for a team, and not really getting a whole lot of love from the Sharks defenseman. I think he's been fine.
Yeah, you know what? It's just occurred to me, and I don't know why, but I'm looking at the 2-shot of us, and it's like it just looks like the things that we're most into have just thrown up on the wall behind us.
It really has. Yeah,
Like
I
there's
know.
like no rhyme or reason. Just throw it up there. Anyway,
Just throw it up there. It is true.
stock down for the week. As I've been talking about for the last little bit, Klingberg.
Yeah.
I don't know why this guy is here, but Warsofsky says it's to, be the captain of the power play ship. Well, how has the power play looked the last 7 games? They've gone 3 for 22, a whopping 13% with Klingberg at the helm of the boat. And during the last 5 games, Klingberg's a -5, 6 shots, a donut, and every other stat. It's no.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
My other guy for stock down is going to be Kurashev. Last 5, he's got an assist, -3, 40% in the dot. He's had a tough couple of weeks after having a couple of really good weeks.
Yeah, the shooting percentage was going to regress. That's what happened there.
Yeah. So, yeah, for me, it's Klingberg, Kurashev, that the power play is my stock down.
Klingberg, yeah, 100%. I mean, I thought Nick Leddy comes back in the lineup, and it's so hard to pick on a guy because he's been back 1 game, but it's not like this 1 game was this outlier of the season. Like whenever he's been in the lineup, it's been a lot of the same things. Like there was a goal yesterday where poor Nedeljkovic couldn't see a damn thing because Klingberg backed him into, or not Klingberg, sorry, Leddy backed him into his net. Like it's just it's the dumbest shit. And I don't understand why these guys just get endless rope and then Muka Madulin like immediately back to the press box. And
what Taco Cruiser just put up, that didn't just happen. That's just like wishful thinking, right? Of Gaudette on waivers.
I didn't see anything, so I'm going to assume that if he was on waivers, we would have known long before.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like a lot of our alerts would have been going up, but yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, the Sharks do need to free up a couple spaces. We're at 50 of 50, right? Contracts.
Yeah, the second, and that's the other thing too. If Misa hits 9 games, then they have to move a contract, which is why I think they're going to kick down this can down the road as far as they possibly can.
Yeah, that boot's going to be on for quite a while.
So I think even if the boot comes off, like I said this last week, I think like if you're the Sharks and you don't want Musa to hit 9 games, like I would send him to the World Juniors. He would probably be, with given what guys are sticking around in the NHL and stuff, like he's probably Team Canada's first line center in the Olympics. Like what a great situation for him to jump into, play some really high level hockey for a little bit, and then bring him back and go from there, right? And if you don't want to, and this obviously depends on the injury. We don't know how long term the injury is at this point, but like he's injured, so you could put him. The only way you can send him to the CUDA is on a conditioning stint. Do it. Let him be the first line center down there for a couple of games, get a ton of minutes in. Let him play with Chernyshov and Musty.
Yeah.
Right? Like kick the can down. Like they can kick the can down the road a little bit here, but not only are you like, I think it benefits him too, because instead of getting the every few games off, he's not going to do that in the AHL. He's going to play, and he's going to play big minutes, and then send him to Team Canada. Let him play big minutes there.
Absolutely. And before we get to the stock up, stock down for the Barracuda, man, I see that the ratio of watchers versus thumbs up is dramatically off. Come on. If you're watching, it takes you 5 seconds, 5 seconds. It takes you 1 second to hit the thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps the algorithm. Come on, guys. Let's see some thumbs up here, please. Come on, help us out. Doesn't cost you anything. Takes the littlest amount of effort possible.
So obviously Barracuda, my stock up. I'm going to give Skarek some love. He had 2 wins this week. One was a shutout, right? Yeah, 1 shutout, and then obviously he was in net. And I thought that he was, he held the Barracuda in a game where they did everything to lose that game, and he held them.
And I feel bad for the guy too. Like he gets a call up because Ned is out for personal reasons. Like called up for one day and like, okay, and here's your ticket home. Bye-bye.
And here's your ticket home. Yeah. which is too bad because I was kind of hoping, like, not obviously whatever was going on with Ned. I mean, I hope it's fine. I don't want to.
Yeah.
From that perspective, obviously, I hope whatever Ned had to step away for is fine and it's sorted and it's good and there's no issues there. But I was kind of hoping Matt Davis would get a start with the Barracuda because he's been really good in the ECHL this year. They haven't won a lot of games, but his numbers for having 2 wins in 9 games are phenomenal.
Nice.
So I was kind of hoping that he would get a start, but unfortunately just it didn't work out that way. And I think he got sent back to Wichita when Skarek went back down, which, is fine. Obviously, Chernyshov, Musty, again, 4 points each on the week for them. Chernyshov, 3 goals and an assist. Musty, 1 goal, 3 assists. Lucas Carlson is on a 3-game goal streak, so you got to like that. Stock down the penalty kill again. It just continues to be a problem. Especially again, like it costs them games, or it nearly costs them games. And I think that their schedule right now, they're doing really good. They're beating the teams that are in front of them. That's all you can ask a team to do. But eventually the schedule is going to get a little tougher than 4 games against the incredibly depleted Abbotsford Canucks, which they play twice again this week. Like, the schedule is going to get harder again, and they're going to have to, like, their penalty kill just can't continue to be as bad as it is. And they maybe they shouldn't take as many penalties as they do, but alas, this is the San Jose Barracuda we're talking about.
Did the Rough Riders just win the Grey Cup or something?
Saskatchewan did, yeah.
Oh, well, good for them. Why do the Sharks' 2-game losing streak feel like 7? Because they look like crap, and it followed a stretch of 8-2-1 where they looked really good and they were on the come up. That's the thing that baked my noodle over this past week was, how do you look that good for that stretch? And again, I was giving myself such a shoulder pat. I was like, man, season preview, I was so optimistic. I feel good. And, then I also remember thinking that, like, Anaheim, I don't really see it that much. And then they're like, number 1. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I was like, but Calgary, I feel like I nailed Calgary.
Also down, Igor Afanasyev. He's had a really slow start, 3 points in 11 games. I remember when he was sent down, I remember Lacey tweeting out being like, I wonder if we see a situation where he just, like, we terminate a contract here. Because he came back over, obviously looking for a shot at the NHL. He was in the KHL last year. Came back over because obviously there was some holes that the Sharks needed to fill, and hope that he could be a part of that solution. But I just think for a guy, I think he's been okay, but, like, you just want more production from a guy who comes over and comes back and it's kind of like, I want some NHL time. Like, you've done nothing to show it. A couple of questions here that I do want to I do want to get to here.
And I have a question for you.
Sure, so. Yeah. Let's get this. How often do ECHL players become successful NHL players? I feel like the one position that benefits from having the ECHL available is goaltending. I feel like goaltenders, like, that if they go down to the ECHL in their first couple of pro seasons, it's not a big deal because it gives them an opportunity to play instead of just, especially if there's a kind of a goaltending logjam.
And maybe it gives you the opportunity to learn how to drive the Zamboni, because that is a skill.
Absolutely. So I think, obviously, look at, if Matt Davis is in the ECHL 3 years from now, obviously that's not an ideal thing. But I think for a guy playing his first year of pro hockey and doing really well in a bad situation in Wichita, I think that's a good thing. Does it mean that he's going to become this, superstar NHL goalie? No, I mean, probably not. But I do think it's not the. It's a lot scarier when skaters go down there because there's obviously more skating jobs, but for goaltenders, there's so few jobs, right? So I think if you have more veteran guys like a Skarek and Gabe Carey, who are both on NHL deals, they're obviously the ones that are going to get the ice time, whereas Matt Davis is on an AHL only deal at this point. So that would be my answer there.
I have a question for you.
Yes, absolutely.
You look at the success that the Anaheim Ducks have had this season so far. Who do you think, what NHL player looks at the standings right now and sees Anaheim having that success and goes, motherfucker? I'm going to say Gibson.
Yeah, I think, but John Gibson was maybe, but I think the
Was he
thing
the
with John
problem?
Gibson was no, he wasn't the problem. I think it's just like he's older now. He's not even that old. Like I feel like John
But he's
Gibson's
got
been
to be
around for
like, you
100
guys
million
couldn't have
years.
done this last year.
They kind of did though. Like they showed the signs that this was coming last year because Lucas Dostal's the real deal. Like Dostal is the better goalie,
Sure.
and he was with what
But
Gibson
it's
was
like
getting paid, he had to go.
You think about all the years where Gibson was the guy. He was the best player on that team.
Yeah,
And has this.
And Paul and James, you're saying Zegras, but I think Zegras is having a complete turnaround in Philly. I think, yeah, he's probably upset that he's not on the team that's actually doing well. But I think when you look at what Trevor Zegras is doing on the Flyers, I think he's probably happy with the change of scenery, to be honest. And I do agree with what Taco was saying. Cronin was a horrible coach in Anaheim, and I do think that getting Joel Quenneville in there was a significant upgrade. 100%.
So based on that, do you think and optics be damned, do you think Quenneville right now is is in the crosshairs for an Adams?
He's got to be in the conversation.
But based on history, I feel like it would be very difficult for them to hand him that trophy.
I think people would be there would definitely be a pocket of the hockey fandom who would not be impressed, but I still think like all those guys are in the league still.
Yeah.
Right? Like regardless of how you feel about it, they're in the league still, and regardless of how you feel about it, like the results still matter. It's a results business.
Mm-hmm. But man. Well, and I did like up until this past week that Warsofsky was getting some Adams conversation. And it was like, and then what happened?
Yeah.
And then this week in November. All right. We'll see.
Taco asking, was Quenneville at fault for what happened in Chicago? I think there's a lot of people at fault for what happened in Chicago.
There was a lot of cooks in that kitchen.
There was a lot of cooks in that kitchen. There's a lot of people at fault, but I think like if you're in a leadership position, especially a coach of the team, like the head coach of the team, there's definitely, I think you have to shoulder your blame. And to his credit, apparently he has. Again, I don't know. I am not in the brain of Coach Q, so I don't know what he learned from this situation or how he actually feels about this situation. It is what it, again, like all those guys are still in the league, so there's no reason to keep him out. Just specifically, if you're going to keep guys out, you'd have to keep them all out, in my opinion, and all the rest of them are still here. So Joel Quenneville should be there too. All right. I know it might feel icky to some people, I get it, but
so I have two rants.
Okay, yeah. I left space for you.
I have two rants. The first one is going to be relatively small.
Okay.
First, and this has to do with guys doing color for broadcast. First up, TJ Oshie. Oh my God, oof. How did he get this gig? Because he, in my opinion, was not good. That was the Tuesday game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The win at Minnesota game. Yeah. At one point, like it became like the TJ Oshie retrospective broadcast. Like it suddenly became all about him for like 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, what are we doing here? And I don't understand why, like some players, I will absolutely admit, for whatever reason, have the gift of gab. Mm-hmm. Whether it's John Scott, I really appreciate Alex Stalock. I would love to see him do more with the Sharks. But like, I don't understand why these guys don't have to, work their way up like they did when they were a hockey player. It's like, you played the game, we'll just throw you right in.
Well, it is the what is it? It was the ESPN Plus stream, right? So it's like an online streaming only. So I mean, it is the bottom rung, I feel like.
Oh man, that was and it was the thing that really got me is the fact that he was so monotone. It was relentless. Anyway, and then the other thing to kind of dovetail off that is the fact that there were two Sharks games this week where you get the normal NBCSN cast.
Yeah.
And they've got Jamal Mayers with Randy Hahn both times. and then they put Remenda with Ruzanowski, and I'm sitting there going, like, no offense to Mares, but
he was okay, but he's not Drew.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, do you know the amount of awards that Randy and Drew have won because they're such a great, they're largely considered, and this is not just like Sharks fans, like
No.
NHL across the board think Randy and Drew are like, if they're not number one, they're in the top fucking three. So my question is, why would you break them up when they're clearly both together available in the same building? I don't get why Mares wasn't with Ruzgi in both of those, but whatever. It's above my pay grade. Anyway,
Yeah.
And to credit Like a Tiger, Remenda's on Merrick's most recent podcast, and he said you would really enjoy it. I will say I did really enjoy
it's
it.
in my queue.
Yeah, he was on there for about, 15, 18 minutes. Great. There was even some callbacks to our old buddy NHL Ties, that old account, and Patrick, Gen X, for the, if you know, you know.
Where's Gen X? I haven't seen Gen X in forever.
He left for Blue Sky.
Oh.
So if you want to find Gen X, you have to go look over on Blue Sky. So for those anyway, the other thing that happened on social media. Oh my God. Okay. Now, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. I've laid into KNBR 95.7, and I thought I was done.
Just when I thought I was done, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, sadly, no. How it all started. One of the KNBR shows. Now, I don't listen to KNBR. I haven't listened to them for over a decade, largely because two things. They don't talk about hockey, and that's fine, but that's why I don't listen. The other thing being is that we reached a point that, like, sports talk radio for a large part was caller driven, and for some reason majority of stations said we're not going to take calls anymore. And to be honest, I think some of it was because callers would prove to know more than the host. So they're like, oh, we keep making our host look bad by taking callers, let's not do that anymore. But anyway, one of the KNBR shows had Brody, our man Brody Brazil, on to talk about the Sharks. And I don't know how long that interview was because, again, I don't listen to local sports talk radio. That's what podcasts are for. But they posted an 80-second clip. And in that clip, it was Brody comparing the ascendance of Celebrini and Smith to, and mostly Celebrini, of course, but the ascendance of Celebrini, comparing that to the ascendance of Steph Curry. Okay. And so I made the joke on Twitter that, I bet Brody had to make that comparison so that the KNBR hosts would understand what the fuck he was saying. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
But I had also tweeted, like, hey, congrats for having someone on KNBR that actually can talk about the Sharks intelligently. And it's, it's kind of sad that none of the regular hosts are informed enough to speak on them. Mm-hmm. And also, hey, way to get, waiting until 17 games into the season before you talk anything about the Sharks. When's the next one? After the Olympics? And yeah, I was being snarky. Have we met? So, KNBR's Adam Copeland, which is evidently one of the hosts of the shows, and I guess was the host of this show, he responds on Twitter, "This is the second time we've had Brody on this season. We're all in on the Sharks. It's weird you're upset about that." Okay, my bad. You've had him on twice over the course of 17 games. Good for you.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're all in, Brody or Remenda, they're doing a weekly segment at the bare fucking minimum. That's what all in means. But back to Copeland for a second. He had another tweet that somebody tagged me in that said, this Sharks team has me frothing. I responded with, hey, you know what? Let me see if we have room for you on the back of the bandwagon.
Oh, shit.
Right? And I'm not sure what was worse. There was some random guy who, like, jumped in to respond. What I said was racist. I don't know how.
Okay.
But that's why Twitter exists. You know,
Yes,
bad
yeah.
political takes and virtue signaling.
Okay.
But I think. But the worst part was Copeland responding with, "I've been on board for the last month," and I'm like, "Bitch, we've been here 35 years. This isn't the Utah Mammoth." Like, holy crap! But and so I went and I looked at Copeland's Twitter feed, and to be fair, he does have some Sharks mentions.
Okay.
But my main point was calling out the station. And,
Yeah.
And if you want to start suddenly talking about the Sharks on air, good for you. Do it. But two things: acknowledge you're jumping on the bandwagon. None of this, "Oh, we've been here the whole time" bullshit.
Right.
And be consistent. You either talk about the Sharks regularly or just get the fuck out. It's fine. No one's going to miss it because, no one misses what they don't have. And take Carlos, whatever his name is, with you. We'd all appreciate that. But I get it. When it comes to on-air talk, Sharks aren't going to pull, they're not going to move the needle. I'm aware. But my point was about the social media. Okay? You know, either post about them or don't. Just pick a fucking lane. But Copeland, do you, dude? My beef isn't with you. My beef's with that Twitter account that KMBR has. So them coming off the top rope to retweet the game-winning goal from Minnesota like they've been covering the Sharks at all, I was like, are you fucking for real with this? But then I thought to myself, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe KMBR has been like retweeting things about the Sharks since the beginning of the season. And so I look at the timeline and, what happens? This is the first Sharks-related tweet that they've posted since the beginning of the season. So my point is, stop. Stop half-assing it. It makes you spare parts. And the best thing that kind of reaffirms what I'm saying, go look at the responses of KMBR putting that out there. They were all negative. They all called out the lack of coverage that KMBR provides the Sharks. So, what the fuck does that tell you? And I went and looked at their website. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find a single mention of the Sharks or hockey. There's a drop-down menu that says NFL, NBA, MLB, Giants, 49ers. That's it. And then I went on their podcast page. Dude, they've got 6 different Giants podcasts, 5 49ers, 2 Warriors, a fantasy, which I'm assuming is football, a fantasy football podcast, a fucking soccer podcast, and a podcast for the arena football team, the Bay Area fucking Panthers, who, if you didn't know this, don't fucking exist anymore. Right?
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I did not know this. This
take our feed. Just take Teal Town. Put it on there so you at least have something. But again, tell your social media guys, either post it regularly or just fucking stop. And you know what? Just stop. Just stop. If you can't find one more Nepo baby to run the account, just stop.
Yeah.
I should have blocked KMBR long ago. I enjoy the occasional Giants clips as a Giants fan. Just do us all a favor. Stop. Just don't act like you're about the Sharks. We all know that you aren't. And all it's going to do is invite negativity because of your lack of coverage. So just do all of us a favor, us and you. Stop. It's that simple. Okay, thank you.
Too many F-bombs.
Anyway,
they can't use our feed. Too many F-bombs. That's fair.
Hey, that's my nickname. F-bomb. What up?
Oh my goodness. So last week we had
passionate I am. God
that's
damn
it, man. Last week we had I opened the floor to some questions, and then I got a response from one of the questions that we did, because I did a breakdown of how the goaltending works. And Sophia M left a comment in the YouTube chat and said that she really enjoyed the goaltending breakdown, but she'd love to understand what makes the number one defenseman. So this is going to be a lot easier.
Most time on ice.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot easier than the goaltending breakdown. The goaltending breakdown took some work. Yeah, I look at a number one defenseman. What makes a number one defenseman is that they are relied on to chew a ton of minutes. They play more than any other skater on the ice. For the most part, you have to be ideally responsible on both ends of the ice. Although if you are incredibly offensively gifted, sometimes
Erik
the
Karlsson.
defensive side of the game gets a little pushed to the wayside. But I feel like, when you look at your true number one defenseman, and I'm looking at like guys like Cale Makar, obviously, guys like that, right? Like these guys can play big minutes against the best players in the league, and they can play well in their own end. But most importantly, it's not only just about shutting guys down; it's also about being able to move the puck the other way. So you'll find that these guys are all generally really really good skaters. They can skate the puck well. They can also pass the puck really well. If that there's not really a skating lane out, they can make a good first pass, and basically change momentum going from the defensive end to the offensive end like that. And I think if you look at like some of the marquee defensemen in the league, you'll see that Cale Makar's a really good example of it. I think of a more complete guy. Quinn Hughes is another one who's just incredibly fun to watch. So yeah, I mean that's really what it is. It's the ability to play with the best players in the world coming down on you, and the ability to push the puck the other way.
I would say go on YouTube, Google the name Nicholas Lidstrom.
Yes. Oh, Nick Lidstrom's good pull too. I was trying to think of like players that are playing right now, right? Because like players you can go watch today. Um, I have some jersey stuff that I want to show. Why can't we do this all the time?
Yes, I would. Yeah, prime color versus prime color.
Makes me crazy.
Yeah, I don't. And I'll even sit there and say, and not even, we don't have to do it all the time.
No, I mean some colors. It's not going to work.
Yeah, of course, but I
mean,
would appreciate. See, yeah, that would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that you showed that one because I would love to see that for maybe you save that for rivalry games or at the very least divisional games.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to see that. And then again, though, I'm also somebody who would like to see the Sharks home set feature black breezers and black lids because I think it's too much goddamn teal.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. Look at the color of the wall behind me. I enjoy the color teal, but you'll notice that not every wall is teal.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Me and Puck were looking at Olympic sweaters the other day. Czechia, is that Slovakia? I don't even know who it is.
I saw somebody do a remix of this, making it into a Mammoth jersey, and I thought the Mammoth version was better.
I like it. I
do
feel
like
really
it.
Bad though. Like
it's certainly better than that ridiculous Avalanche jersy with the big A with the mountain thing. Oh God, the asymmetrical
it's
mountain.
Slovakia. Thank you, Puck guy. I see. I just angered an entire European country.
Hey, you know what? Get in line.
I dig it though. I really like it. I'm still mad Team Canada's are black.
Hold on, put that up again. I'm just not realizing it. So I'm assuming Eric put these together.
Yes.
So he replaced the advertisement with "Hey Now" and "Angry Canadian Robot."
I do like that. That's a really good call. I am liking it.
Well, and I will say there was an episode of After Dark a couple of weeks ago where you were like so positive, and I was like, "Fuck, he's gonna have to change the emoji from angry to like a ray of sunshine."
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? Like,
and then this week happened, and you're like,
and
yeah,
then this week happened.
Angry.
It's back to angry again. I don't know. I mean, because I think the one thing is though, but you have to like enjoy things while they are good.
Sure.
And if there's anything that the last 5 years have taught us, is you have to enjoy the good times while they last, because they might not last long enough, and then you'll be pining for them when you're in the middle of a 20-game stretch where you've won 3 games.
Oh, dude, I think it was Jesse Granger posted a day or two ago that like the Golden Knights had what he thought was the worst week in that franchise's history and I was just like, yeah, you love to see it. It's about fucking time.
Yeah, no
We've
doubt.
been waiting for this.
Oh, no doubt. Other thing that I was asked, and I didn't have time to put it together, but I do have it now.
Sure.
A little bit of a catch up with some of what the prospects are doing.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Been a while.
so I have a little list here. I'm just going to highlight a few things. I'm not going like completely down the list, but I'm going to highlight some of the big things. So Carson Wetsch is a right winger. He plays for the Kelowna Rockets. He's doing really, really well. He's of all the players of the Sharks prospects, he has got the most points so far. He had, and these are accurate as to yesterday afternoon. I didn't have a chance to update them today. But as of yesterday afternoon, he had 13 games played, 4 goals, 12 assists for 16 points, which ranks third on the team. The Kelowna Rockets are the Memorial Cup hosts, so he is guaranteed a trip to the Memorial Cup regardless of how his team does, but his team is doing very good. And it seems like the Kelowna Rockets continue to add to their roster. So he's doing really well. Sticking in the CHL, sticking in the Western Hockey League even. Max Heiss has got 9 goals and 5 assists for 14 points. He's 5th in his team for scoring. Prince Albert's doing pretty well as far as I know too. I have this somewhere. Yeah, they're 2nd in the Eastern Conference right now, so that's they're doing really well. I think they're going to be a team to watch in the Western Hockey League. Teddy Mutrin is playing in the Quebec League. He's got 13 games played. He has 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points. He's 4th in his team for scoring. Moving over to the NCAA, Eric Polkamp
Man.
got just a ton of points. He's got 13 points already. He's played 11 games. He has 8 goals, 5 assists for 13 points. Continues to put points on the board. And obviously a very good Denver team. Denver seems to always have a good team. Cole McKinney is playing for the University of Michigan. He's played 13 games. He has 9 points. Hoshi Wang, defenseman for the Oshawa Generals, he's been really good so far this year. He's got a goal, 8 assists, 9 points, and he's a minus 16, which is not ideal. But for a guy that just like watching clips of him last year and then watching him this year, the change in his game has actually been pretty significant. I think he's definitely leveled up a little this year. And I remember when he was drafted, there was a lot of talk of like, oh, he has no points. And I mentioned how, this is a guy who started the year in one of the worst lower level, like the OJHL, which is a lower level of hockey than the Ontario Hockey League, obviously. So you go from one of the worst, like the BCHL is the best league of that tier. So you go from one of the worst leagues in that tier to the OHL, which is one of the best leagues in the country. There's definitely some time to adjust there. And so far he's shown some decent adjustment. Again, like the minus 16 isn't ideal, but it's nice to see that he's consistently putting up points on the board. Moving over to goaltending, goalies are doing really well. Joshua Ravensbergen is one of the best goalies in the country right now. He is in 17 games played. He's got 11 wins, 6 losses, a shutout, 1 shutout. He has a 2.73 goals against average with a 915 save percentage. He is 5th in save percentage in the Western Hockey League, but he has played significantly more games than the players that are above him by like 5 or 6 more games. And another guy who's really impressed me is Christian Kirsch, who plays for the Kitchener Rangers. Now, unfortunately, the game that I went to in Kitchener, their younger goalie, Jason Schabel, started. To start the year, they were pretty much splitting games. Now it seems that Christian Kirsch has started to take over the net a little bit. He's played 13 games to Schabel's 8. He has 9 wins, 4 losses. He also has a shutout, a 2.25 goals against average and a 913 save percentage. So he's been really, really good for them. They do want to, I think that Schabel's going to start, is going to continue to get a decent amount of starts. So I don't think Kirsch is going to completely take over because Christian Kirsch is going to, I believe it's UMass next year.
Well, because that's the only way you can get to a Mike Greer team is if you go through.
You gotta go. So he's going to UMass next year, and I think that he's gonna so they're going to want to make sure that their other goalie who's younger, Christian Kirsch is 19 at this point. Their other goalie is 17, so I think they're obviously going to want to make sure that he can take over the net next year when Christian Kirsch moves on to greener pastures. And another guy, Yaroslav Kroll. Oh my God. Korotsalov. Yes. He was a 7th round pick in the 2024 draft, but he's in the MHL playing for SKA 1946 St. Petersburg in the MHL. I don't know why their names are so weird. Fucking Russians, man. There, I pissed off 2 countries now. Good.
Hey. Yeah.
He's played 6 games. He has 3 wins, 2 losses. The other game he played, he must have come in relief. He has a pretty decent thing too. 2.68 goals against average, 908 save percentage. So some decent goaltending so far early in the season. Again, it's early. I'm curious to see, which guys are going to go where, but that is kind of an update of what I think the highlights are of the.
See, I can kind of get a little excited at the idea of 2, maybe 3 years from now of Dickinson, Mukamadulin, Polkamp, Cagnoni, maybe Noah Beck. I don't know. Oh, the inner TJ Oshie, of course. Korostelev?
Krostelev. That sounds right. See,
okay.
Lacey, what would I do without you, buddy?
So, and I know people that'll still look at the phonetical thing and they still will be like, "What?" But I look forward to, it's like, God damn, it's a bummer that it takes defensive guys a little more time to marinate, but man, a couple years from now, could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anyone else, like if you have a prospect that I didn't mention and you want me to quickly hit it.
Well, fuck that guy.
Yeah, if you hit it in the chat pretty quick, I can probably go back to it quickly. But yeah, so I mean that's a little bit of an update on some of the prospects are doing. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, look at World Juniors is coming up, so it'll be interesting to see who's going to be going on those teams. I think a guy like Brandon Svoboda is probably going to be on Team USA again. So we will see how it goes. Give me a second. I need to put this dog outside before he explodes.
All right, well, I'm going to go over the upcoming schedule then.
Sounds good. All right.
So obviously the Sharks have 4 games coming up between now and the next time we will have the Sunday show. I guess we're looking at a takeover next week, and Ian already said that he's got something going, so should be fun to see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if you end up with myself and Eric next week. So we got the Mammoth coming to town, and they're outside the wild card there. What are you going to do? But seeing that, and this is weird because I remember just like a week ago, oh, Mammoth are playing some decent hockey. Well, they're 4-5-1 over their last 10. But their goal differential +3. Now, the big thing I think is that the Mammoth, they're solid at home, 5-1-1, but on the road they're 5-6-0. So they have a losing record on the road. Hopefully that bodes well for the Sharks. Not to mention the fact that the Sharks have lost 2 in a row. If they lose 3 in a row, I don't know. Warsaw's going to throw somebody out a window, I would imagine, at that point. Then you get the LA Kings. Now that one, I think we should already pencil that as a win because they're the number 1 team in the Pacific right now, and that's who the Sharks beat is top teams. We don't, why bother beating the low teams? We only want to beat the top teams, right? So the LA Kings now get this. Mm-hmm. They only have 1 home win, but they've played 12 games on the road, and they've only lost 1 of those. Dude, they're 9-1-2 on the. I mean, okay, technically they've lost 3, but they've there's only been 1 game on the road that they didn't take a point from. That is incredible. So that Thursday game, and don't forget, if memory serves, the Thursday game, there's going to be all sorts of feels in the building that night because that's the Joe Thornton Hall of Fame night.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh my God, that I'm already nervous that could be like the Sharks could get their asses handed to them in that one, to be quite honest, because of the feels and everything. It's going to be one or the other. Then you get Ottawa coming in on Saturday. Ottawa, they're just above they're 579 hockey right now. Again, they're another team that decent at home, 6-3-2, but on the road 3-3-2. Basically, hockey 500 on the road. They've lost their last game, so remains to be seen. And then the Boston Bruins, who suddenly are at the top of the Atlantic Division. Again, not on a lot of people's bingo cards.
Nope.
But again, another team that at home 8-3, like awesome, but away from the Garden 4-5. So we'll see how they do. But they're 8-2-0 over their last 10. So that's going to be a tough one. And like I said earlier, that's going to be the third game in 4 nights for Boston. So should be an interesting week for the Sharks. But it's one of those ones where, hey, man, like, let it all go, because then you get a couple days off. Then you make a quick jaunt to Colorado. You get Turkey Day. And then a nice Black Friday game. And then Vegas again. And, hey, who doesn't want to spend the Saturday? In fact, now I got to look that up. Who doesn't want to spend the Saturday after Thanksgiving in Vegas? And you get Sunday off, so it wouldn't surprise me if the plane leaves Vegas a little late on next Saturday, because the boys got to get in. Maybe a couple hands of blackjack. Who knows? That plane might leave Sunday morning to come back to San Jose, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Kevin's saying for going back to the prospects, no Joey Muldowney. Joe Muldowney is actually interesting because the NCAA is sending a team of guys over to the Spangler Cup, and he is a part of that team. And he has he's played 9 games. He's got 5 goals in 9 games, so he's had a pretty impressive start as well. I should have mentioned him, because that is a lot of goals in 9 games.
All right. Is AJ about to say the Sharks are making the playoffs? When did I ever fucking say that? No. I have been Mr. Optimistic this year. Like, I expected more the Sharks to perform better, and so far they have. This past week, notwithstanding. Let's see if they can get back onto another 8-2-1 run. I mean,
yeah.
That was that. I don't think most of us expected that. I certainly wouldn't have said, "Oh yeah, they're going to play in Seattle, then host Winnipeg and Florida 3 and 4 nights, and they're going to win every one of those games." Yeah, I would not. I would have bet
not
against
not
that.
on the bingo card. So I think there's something we'll revisit this once every so often, though. Something we'll definitely come back to for the prospects, and we'll revisit how they are doing. I don't know. Maybe we'll make it a monthly thing or something.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here, man.
All right, man. Yeah, that's it. So, I don't have anything else either. So yeah, let's get the hell out of here. All right, man. If you want to watch this again, or you are here for the first time, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, actually. If you've come here for the first time, you like what we do, hit the subscribe button. You'll get all of our stuff in your YouTube feed. If you would prefer this in an audio format, we are available on all the major audio platforms, be that Apple, Google, Spotify, you name it. We are probably on there. And obviously, again, if you like to help us out, obviously super chats help us out. You can also hit us up on Venmo at tealtownusa. And if you also like to help us out and you want to just continue the conversation, maybe conversation that we didn't get to have on the show, or you're watching it after the fact, leave us a comment in the comment section. I do like to read the comments. I do respond to the comments. So that obviously helps us out as well. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. You can hit the bell. You'll be notified anytime we go live, which is after every game, every Sunday. And when news breaks, we fix it. That's it, man. It's all. Final thoughts.
I just, again, I want to see some sort of a bounce back. I'm interested to see what the response is going to be after 2 absolute just. I mean, there's really no nice way to describe the last 2 games of Sharks hockey we watched. So I'm looking to I mean, take it out on the mammoth, man.
Yeah.
Let's make them be like, oh, we should have named our team something else because we got killed. Like, I want to see a massive response, and you get the next 4 at home. Like, make playing at the whole "Make America Great Again" hats. I want a hat a teal hat that says "Make playing at SAP a pain in the ass again." For
Yes.
visiting teams. That's what I want to see.
I dig it. Again, yeah. So this week we got some games coming up. We'll be live after every game. We will reconvene next Sunday. I will not be here. It is a takeover. It is too late for me. I have to go to bed. But
Yeah, I feel you.
we'll make someone
probably be me and Eric, but who knows?
Yes. So
or a reasonable facsimile.
Or a reasonable facsimile. So appreciate all you guys being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, if you liked what we did, hit the like button, all that stuff. Other than that, though, I will bid you a good evening, good night. Where is my button?